We're live. Hello.
Hello. Hi there, everyone.
Hi there. Hi there, everyone. Anybody watching? Thank you. Thank you for coming back. If you're new, thank you for finding us. We are Julie and Judy. I'm Julie.
I'm Judy.
And we're knitting around LA. And we are a video podcast about knitting, fiber, all kinds of fiber arts, all kinds of arts, all kinds of things that we find interesting, and we
hope that you find interesting too.
Today's unusual for a couple of reasons. One, because we've had like serious technical challenges, and this is kind of a practice. We want to practice some things because we have a live guest Thursday, and I want to solve some of our technical problems before we have Amy and Sam from Stitch Space LA on, because I would like to not have a train wreck when we have them. Right?
Yes, yes. Julie, what have you been up to?
Wow, thank you for asking. I've been actually on quite a, I've been on a cotton sweater adventure.
Now, wait, I have to ask, why cotton?
Well, as we actually have talked about it before, and we will probably mention it a few other times. Living in LA, we have discovered on our knitting journey and through all these podcasts and stuff we watch from around the knitting community that our situation is unique to a warm climate. And I personally don't really like to wear wool. And because it always itches for me. I don't think it's an allergy. I think it's just a function of the climate and what?
The fiber. It has that texture.
And in cold climates, they'll wear like a blouse and they'll wear a sweater over it like all day. And we wouldn't do that. I might wear a tank top with a sweater over it, and the itchiness is awful. Plus, I'm always finding myself taking a sweater off during the day. That's me personally.
I mean, it's still in the 80s today, and we're approaching the end toward third week of October. So a lot of places already are experiencing frost. Not us. No.
I saw somebody posted about having snow, and all over the knitting community, they're talking about it. It's sweater weather.
Get your gloves and scarves out.
It was 60 degrees today. It was actually foggy, which it means it cooled down here. It was in the 90s last week. And I got out one of my hand knits. It's cotton, but after a couple hours, I took it off anyway, and I'm wearing a linen tank top.
We're not going to cool down until like in a few more days. Maybe we get into the 70s. So, yeah.
And then sweater weather for us is winter for other people. And I was reading something where it said, it's a 3-season sweater. And they meant, and it was a cotton sweater, they meant spring, summer, and fall. For us, a 3-season sweater would be fall, winter, and spring. So
what have you been looking at?
Well, okay, so personally, I want cotton sweaters, and a cotton sweater for me is a winter sweater. And so I was on Instagram and I saw this beautiful thing, which I will show right now. Okay. Did you say something?
I said, ooh.
Okay. And what this is Patty Lyons, and that's Patty Lyons. I love Patty. I like Patty a lot. I love her as a teacher. I've taken at least one workshop from her. And I knew her before she was a knitting teacher too, just a little bit. I had met her And it's a gorgeous sweater. It's got gorgeous details, and I like the way Patty teaches. She'll teach you like the structure and the engineering of a single stitch, or she posted today about how she worked out ways that to do this shawl collar. I wanted to do it. This pocket, I wanted to do it. She's got these invisible buttonholes. I wanted to do it. And I was all set to sign up for the classes, online classes, and buy the pattern and stuff. And fortunately, I actually read the comments on Instagram. And I was scrolling down, and somebody asked about doing this in cotton. And Patty responded, no, not a good idea. Cotton does not work well with cables. And then another Instagrammer posted, oh, yeah, I found that out the hard way. And she had two hashtags. One was sweater stretched out to my knees or something like that.
Wow.
The other hashtag was ask me how I know. And the other hashtag was frogged it after wearing once.
Oh, wow.
And so I asked Patty, I said, oh, I was all set to do this in cotton. And she responded, no, cables and cotton do not go well together.
Is it the structure of the cable and how it pulls on the weight of the cotton down? What is it?
It's the structure of the cotton fiber versus the wool fiber. And it's just how they naturally are. The wool fiber being the hair of the sheep, it's this incredible fiber. You know, I don't have anything against wool, even when I'll say wool is not for me. Wool is fabulous. It's springier, you know, and so even if it stretches out, it'll spring back. Cotton isn't entirely different. It's different chemically. It's just different in every way. And so cotton will just relax and spread out. A cotton knit sweater, it will relax and spread out. And I am not yet an expert at how to do it, and I'm learning how to select sweaters that are right for cotton so that when it does relax and spread out, it's still a good sweater.
Mm-hmm.
And so after I decided I'm not going to be a dodo and think I know better, and I am going to take Patty and this other person's word for it. And even though I'm really disappointed, and I've kind of come to the conclusion I've got to stop lusting after cables. So I even considered for a short while buying some wool yarn and doing this, but
because it is pretty.
But I have wool sweaters, you know. Maybe I don't know. I'll shelve that whole idea for now. So after that whole conversation, it set me on. I went on. Was that me? I went on a search. What?
It's my daughter just texted me. I'm sorry.
No, I thought I was too loud and with getting feedback from my voice coming out of your computer. Okay. So I went on a search and I put in the search term cotton, worsted weight, because I already have the yarn. And it's this. And I'll show it again in a minute. Cotton, worsted weight, one color, and I don't know what else I put in there. And so by putting enough search terms, even in Ravelry, I came down to just only a few pages of search results instead of like 375 pages of search results.
Yeah.
You know, I put in sweater, you know.
Yeah, you get
what?
Yeah, what? You get like 1,500 pages for sweater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I tell people if you go into Ravelry, you've got to tell somebody and tell them when you expect to return so they can come looking for you. So I'm searching, and I noticed like a couple of great things that was really interesting to notice. A lot of the sweaters, cotton sweaters, didn't have closures or they had like one button because they're warm weather sweaters. But I know that my cotton sweater is going to be a winter sweater and I want it to close all the way for those days when it's cold enough, for me to button up my sweater. And a lot of them had short sleeves and very interesting stuff. But I know that I can add a closure. I can change a neckline if I want to because I've done it before. And I'm going along and I'm searching, and then I came across these.
Oh, so pretty. And are they cotton for cotton?
They're cotton. I own these. I own these books. And it was like, I own these books. I already have this in my queue that I wanted to make it.
Huh.
Okay. I already have this. Remember when we went to Trendsetter Warehouse?
Yeah. I was going to say, are these Lana Grossa's?
Rowan.
Rowan. Okay.
65. And when we post this, I've got the show notes. I didn't grab the magazines to bring them in here, but I've shown them before. That my COVID, my quarantine sweater that I made last spring, the one with the slip stitches and the different colors.
Yes.
That was out of the same book as this.
Beautiful.
Yes. So, like Saturday night, I did all my math. I actually started, and this is for a yarn called Cotton Glacé, which is, oops. Can you see that?
Yes.
Because the window is very tiny on.
Correct.
And of course it's lime green that I love, right? I've got 3 balls of it. But this yarn that I've shown before, it's cotton. It's one of my sweater amounts that I, came across when I did my quarantine for Stash Down 2020. Do you know where this yarn came from, Judy?
No.
It's from YBLA. It was one of the donations.
Oh, wow.
During the Granny Square project that they they gave to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
I've got enough of it for a sweater. I and on one of our other broadcasts, I showed one of our other videos. I showed that I had done this and I did a swatch, and this is in my inventory for Stash Down 2020. And so I did another sample in pattern, and working with it, messing around with it, and with this, and I didn't fully block this, but I know from blocking cotton swatches that if I just spread it out a little bit, this is how cotton, the stitches spread out. It just relaxes and spreads out. It doesn't spring back like wool does. But this ended up being the right gauge for that. And that's a sweater I had wanted to do anyway.
Well, that worked out great for you then.
I'm so happy. Of course, I started to do this and reconsidered. Oops, wrong direction. I did the rib, and I didn't do the full rib, full 20 rows. And I looked at it and I thought about it, and I went to bed and I thought about some more, and And then this is a different book. This is a different book. And I went back and looked through that, and so this is it. This is the one.
You've already started it?
I started it. I'm up to row 30. I'm up
Oh my God.
I'm up to if you can see my cursor, this line, and then I'm in the diagonal section.
Wow.
And so, I mean, I'm really happy. I'm really happy. And hopefully I'll stay really happy as I go along with this.
So tell me, are you going to have that split? It looks like on the hip, you're going to put that into? Okay.
That tends to work for me in a sweater with my belly and hips and tushy.
So you're knitting right now the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
Very, very cool.
Yep. So,
well, you're amazing and it's looking fabulous.
Thank you. I'm going to take this down. And
there we are.
And the reason that I cast on something new is that I finished something.
Oh, you going to show us? Share? Let's see.
Do you know what I finished?
I have a strong suspicion. Begins with the letter L.
Begins with L, and that rhymes.
I know what it is, but let's see it.
It is Laurelie.
Wow, it's beautiful.
And I blocked it because I always.
What's the edging look like?
It's nothing fancy.
Okay.
I just found off.
Oh, all right. I was thinking it might have been a picot or, something.
I thought about it, but I thought about it too late. And it was actually supposed to have 6 rows of garter on the edge. But I would have needed to stop here in the pattern at the point of this, right
because it would make it too long.
No, just at the to make it even in the design. I would have had to stop here because I almost ran out of yarn. I have almost.
Okay.
That makes a difference. Here and then do the garter rows, and I mean I had already knitted all of this when I kind of realized I wasn't going to have enough, and this was like at a halfway point or at a full point in the.
So did you play yarn chicken?
Nah, a little bit. I knew I was going to get this last row, and I was pretty confident I was going to get the cast-off row. And I could have done a picot, and like put points here and here, but I didn't. And it's
gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
So this is a 2-skein shawl. It is plenty big enough for me.
It's like a perfect size.
For my preferences, yes. And it's really light because the lace opens up, and this mosaic section is just not that heavy. So
awesome. Yeah. Oh, that's so beautiful. One of these days I'll start mine.
our knit along. Yeah, so
yes.
Yeah, well, this is where we're at least we're not going to be like the other knitting podcasts.
Well, because honestly, I mean, I've gone down other rabbit holes this quarantine period, one of which has been deep, clean diving, and in my studio, that's taken me a very long time. And in fact, this past weekend, with the help of my daughter, we tackled my fabric, because having been a longtime quilter, I have an immense amount of fabric. And like the wool, where you talked about here, we're living in, SoCal, it's not quite, although it's a beautiful beautiful yarn, it's not quite appropriate. We have determined that I have 4 majorly huge boxes of flannel. Well, when I lived back east, yeah, you needed flannel.
I never even thought of having a flannel quilt.
Oh,
Because I grew up in Arizona.
yeah. Well, I'm going to make flannel quilts and send them back to my nieces and nephews back east, because I don't need them here.
And that's a good use for the fabric.
It is a good use to the fabric. And I'm going to try to do some very big, bold, large pieced quilts. I'm not going to do minute, tiny. Well, first of all, you really don't with flannel, because it's too flexy.
It's going to phrase a lot. It's not like nice.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so I'm just going to be doing some really big piecing, and down and dirty, fast, and get them out. So that's my goal. So on occasion, I might be showing some things that I've been sewing, which actually leads us to who we are going to be having as guests this week. Speaking of sewing.
Yep. Stitch Space LA, which is a sewing workshop and creative studio in Sherman Oaks, California. They teach a lot of sewing and other craft classes.
Mm-hmm.
They're based primarily in sewing, and that we're scheduled for 1:00 on Thursday to be live on YouTube.
That'd be wonderful, because they're both terrific ladies. They have fabulous classes, and their students love what they do. And I fully and wholly support them. They're really great. So I'm looking forward to having them on the show on Thursday.
Yeah. Yep. Me too.
Yeah.
So, well, that's great. This is great for a quick. This was kind of a shakedown podcast. I'm going to go ahead and post it.
Okay.
And I'm sorry. What?
My bloops. Even with my bloops.
Oh yeah.
My tacos.
Oh yeah. No, we'll get better at that. And because then I won't have to share this again. And but I would like to. We're gonna try. We're experimenting. We're trying to get better technically at our videos, and with the goal of posting once a week on Thursdays. And since we started using this live virtual format, we have adjusted the time to suit the guest schedule. And there may be other times when we don't do it live, but we record just because of scheduling. And our goal is to post on Thursday afternoon. Yep. And another time, we're going to experiment with a short format called a Knitting Around LA Short Row, and do a finished object report. And I have a sweater that I've shown briefly, but I'd like to do the full body finished object report. And some people do a little finished object dance. We'll just have to see if the world is ready for me.
Okay. I'm with you, whatever it is you want to do.
Okay.
I support you.
Is there anything else we want to do?
Oh, good.
We could end it here. Oh, this is where we say, please like us if you like us. Please subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Turn on notifications so that you'll get notifications if our time bounces around a little bit. And
leave comments too if you like.
please leave comments.
We would love to hear from you. And we'll respond. So
and you can follow us on Instagram at Knitting Around LA. And yes, please leave comments. We would love to know that somebody has watched.
Somebody out there is watching.
Yes, because right now we don't know if anybody's watching.
Okay.
Yeah, no, our last one had 8 views, and I'm just not sure. It might have been me clicking into our channel.
Okay. All right then. All right, folks.
We'll leave it there.
We'll see you this Thursday.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Bye. Mwah. Bye.
Mwah.
Bye.